villains. They get the cool outfits, the fabulous monologues, and the exquisite breakdown scenes. Most of my favourite characters are villains, but not all of them. So it got me thinking, what if every character I ever liked was a villain? So I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna take 3 characters who are considered good characters, some better than others, and turn them into the dark shadow versions of themselves that I know they can be. Fair warning, this video will contain spoilers for all the TV shows and the characters that I mentioned, so you have been warned. Let's go. The first character up for being turned into a villain is Luz Noceda from the Owl House. I love Luz. Her character is so fun and friendly, and at her core, she's such a good and caring person. It's hard to imagine her as a villain, but I'm gonna do it anyway. For her villain version, this is an alternate reality where everything happens the same until the end of the first season, where Luz joins the Emperor's Coven, maybe reluctantly at first, because I know everyone, I know she wouldn't do it. Alternate reality, stay with me, stay with me. But she is swayed by Emperor Bellus's thinking to, how should I say, better control the Boiling Isles. I know she would never. Alternate reality, let's remember that. But in the meantime, she's plotting to take over the Emperor's Coven from Bellos soon enough. She's gotta have that. She's a main character. She does have main character energy. She's gonna want to be the main bad guy when she realizes, oh yeah, that's what I am. That's what we're doing here. She's acting a bit like the Golden Guard mixed with the Collector for that little dash of chaos. For her outfit, she has the cloak worn by the Emperor's Coven and a witch's hat. She's still into her fandoms and nerdy stuff, so she's gonna want to look the part. I wanted to incorporate some design elements from her Titan form, but I couldn't give her the cool bone decor because in this timeline, the Titan would be against giving her magic since she's not really using it as intended. But no takebacks for revealing magic to her in the first place, so she's still allowed to use magic, just not as cool as she does when she's a Titan-esque person. And what's more evil than wearing jeans? All good villains wear jeans. I was going to give her a bird mask, but I thought it would be a bit over the top with her witch's hat as well, so we'll leave that now. She's different from the others. In this alternate universe I've created, she becomes the villain after season 1, so she'd know all of the spells. I haven't watched the Owl House for a while, but I'm pretty sure she knows the basic spells by the end of the first season, but I could be wrong. She only starts experimenting, I believe, in season 2, when she starts trying to teach Ida and Lilith, so she hasn't got that far yet, but basic spells she's got. She'd have cards made for her by the Emperor's Coven, all fancy and embossed that she can just pull out, tap, throw, you know, all that jazz. Like I can't think of the character, anime character. She'd have flair. I gave her a bag that she would keep all of her cards in, and then I gave the bag little cat ears because even if she is a villain, she still has her whimsy. Her staff is based on both the Golden Guard staff and Azura's staff, but with a bit of growing twigs around the gemstone for that villain vibe. I thought that she'd still have her crop top sweater, but with the colours changed, matching the colour of the fingerless gloves that I've given her. For the overall colours, in the end I went with a similar colour scheme to the villain in the Good Witch Azura story. Is it Hecate? Not Hecate, Hecate. Maybe this is the alternate timeline where her favourite character from the story is her instead of Azura. We don't know. This is my alternate reality that I'm living rent-free in my head right now. I changed her eye colour to a yellow, either from using magic or I thought she'd be the type of person who would wear coloured contacts to look the part. Most of the witches on the Boiling Isles have yellow eyes. By most, I mean Ida and the Blight Children, so I ended up changing the colour of the cloak because I didn't feel like it tied in with the rest of the outfit, so maybe she took the Emperor's Coven cloak and dyed it herself. Is Villain Luz just emo Luz? More emo Luz? Maybe. Her staff is probably more for decoration, like Hunter's staff, as in this version she doesn't have her talisman yet. Well, she doesn't get her talisman till later on, so yeah, it didn't happen anyway, but now she's got a staff. But Hunter still flies around with his, so she can still have her witch's broom moments. Oh, I could have made it a witch's broom. Okay, hindsight, it's a beautiful thing. Next up to be vilified is Tadashi Hamada from Big Hero 6. Let me start off by saying I love this movie. I feel like I'm gonna have to say this a lot, but when this movie came out, I was devastated by Tadashi's death, so why not make an alternate story where he survives as the villain? I'm pretty sure that in the early stages of writing Big Hero 6, they played with the idea of Tadashi being the villain, and I will never forgive them for making him die instead. Though I suppose it serves as a better message for a kid's movie, but damn it, bring him back. In this alternate timeline where Tadashi becomes the villain, I'm thinking he knows about Callahan's history with Cray, and since Callahan's his mentor, he agrees Cray needs to pay for his wrongdoings. However, he believes at this stage that justice can be delivered lawfully, instead of going after him like Callahan would. But when he goes back in the building to save Callahan, Tadashi survives instead of Callahan. So he feels he needs to avenge his mentor and maybe bring that justice to Mr. Cray himself. He's not a doctor, is he? He is Mr. Cray. His hair's a little longer than it was in the film because villains on a mission don't have time to get it cut. In this universe, he lost his arm in the fire, but being a robotics student, he built a replacement arm. He would use a similar mask as Callahan did to control the nanobots and hide his identity from Hiro and his friends. He'd also have burn marks visible on his face. For this concept image, his mask is broken after an emotional scene in a fight with Hiro's team, and the mask gets cracked, revealing one of his eyes, and he has to get out of there before the rest of the mask falls off and Hiro recognizes him. Somewhere in an alternate reality, that version of Big Hero 6 exists, and I'm so mad I'm not there. I also gave him the same overcoat as Callahan. Maybe it's the exact same one as a nod to Callahan as he goes after Mr. Cray. That Mr. Cray also... Well, I don't even know if Mr. Cray knew about the guy in the mask really until the very end. Never mind, we'll move on. Also, Tadashi knows about character design and shape language. You can see that when he designs Baymax, how he designs him to be a friendly figure with circular shapes and rounded edges, non-threatening like. So he'd design his arm and mask to be intimidating with sharp edges and the red LED seams. Pretend I know about robotic terms. I'm thinking that because he hangs out with Fred, he'd at least have some knowledge of supervillains in comics. He might even be a fan himself, so he does get a little into the design and capabilities of his villain persona. Last up to be vilified is Vaggie from Hazbin Hotel. Now, Vaggie's not my favourite character from Hazbin Hotel, but I did think she'd possibly have the coolest design change. Not coolest. Drastic design change, becoming a villain. I had two ideas for how Vaggie became a villain in this alternate reality I've got going on. The first one being she never left the Exorcists. The second being she became a villain after she fell. I went with the second because I felt it gave me more character design opportunities. I'm not too aware of how the Hazbin Hotel lore universe works beyond what I've seen in the series, so some of what I'm about to say may completely go against the rules of the universe, so apologies in advance. My story goes like this. After she sped those demons, got her eye taken out by Loot, and fell from heaven, she grew spiteful of hell, regretting her act of compassion that caused her to fall. She rose to power, becoming a bit of an overlord type, but preferring to do business by herself, like Zestial. I'm assuming, again, not seen much of him in the series, so I don't know. In this alternative timeline, she hasn't met Charlie yet. Perhaps they meet later on and Charlie hits her with the I can fix her strategy. Her main motive is revenge, both on heaven and hell. She continues to execute sinners, as well as any angels she comes across. She's hunting Loot and hopes that killing angels will send a message to Loot to face her. For her outfit, I fixated on more of a warlord look, giving her an eye patch instead of the X over her eye, and spiky armor to make her look more serious. In her chestplate, it's decorated with gold embellishments to mimic angel blood. Also, I just thought it looked nice. I gave her a bit of red in her design as a bit of a homage, if that's the word, nod, we're gonna say instead, a nod to Charlie, as well as to tie her into hell, as most characters have red in their designs, and she is still a demon in this. Oh no, she's not a demon. She's a sinner in this universe. But you get what I mean. I turned her spear into rope darts, I believe they're called, despite these ones being attached to a chain. Chain darts? Maybe. Mainly because I thought it looked cool. That is normally what most of my design choices are. Then I realized I need to have a reason behind this one. One of her rope darts would be made from her own spear, the other from either a deceased comrade or her ex-angel friend that I have no idea what happened to. As aesthetically cool as rope darts are, chains are a nightmare to draw. Not good for my neck. I was, hitting that shrimp pose while drawing this. Clip Studio Paint does have a chain brush, but the results aren't in keeping with my art style, and sometimes there are breaks in the chain from where I'm not paying attention, so I went over them with my trusted lining brush, but it took a while. And there we go, 3 hero characters if they were villains. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. This was really fun to do, and I'd be interested in seeing other characters redesigned if they were villains. If you have any characters you think would make good villains, let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. A special thank you to my Demon Tier and Oracle Patreon supporters. Your support makes these videos possible and they keep me going, so thank you so much. If you want to support me and get rewards for yourself, such as your name at the end of my videos, among other things, head over to my Patreon. The link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!